What's going on, everyone? Today we're going to be going over 10 highly underrated saves that you should most definitely try in FM24, as we have plenty of time to try out a boatload of saves now before we get our next football manager. All these saves are in an updated database as well, so I'll be linking that database down below in the description if any of you wish to download it and give it a go for yourselves. Without further ado, let's get into the first club. The first club we're starting off with you can find in the Serie C in Group A. It's Pro Vercelli. They have actually won 7 Serie A titles, but they haven't done so since 1922, which actually the last time they won a trophy was before they built their stadium, which was in 1932. So you have a big project on your hands. Get this club back up to the Serie A and start dominating again like they did in the early 1900s. And when you look at their facilities, yeah, they have good training and youth facilities, but when it comes to youth recruitment and junior coaching, you're definitely going to have to improve them there to produce some of the best Italian talents here at the club. Next up, we're heading to Portugal, and one of the bigger clubs in Portugal, it is FC Porto. This club is actually not doing so well without Sergio Conceição, and I believe that you are the right person to put them back on the right track. And this is a very fun save to do because you can just kind of build them up and dominate Portuguese football, or you can kind of do like a Jose Mourinho type career where you start at Porto, try and win a Champions League with them, or even the Europa League, then the Champions League, and then move on elsewhere and see where your career takes you. They have a very, very good team as well, so it should be fairly simple for you to do well, at least domestically, right away. And when you're looking at their facilities, they essentially are state-of-the-art. They are very close to actually being at that level, but you will be producing some of the best Portuguese talents within the country. And you also have the luxury of having one of the best players in the world, in goal at least, in Diogo Costa. So the longer you can hold on to him, the easier winning the Champions League as well as that Europa League will be. So if you're looking for a club that can kind of serve as like a launching pad to you for a journeyman type save, then FC Porto is definitely one to look at. Next, we move on to Turkey, and we are at Trabzonspor. Trabzonspor actually not too long ago were champions of the Turkish leagues. Now they are a ways off of being champions of the Turkish league, and they definitely need some help to get back to that level. This is a very fun save. Managing in Turkey is very entertaining as well. You will have a very tough time trying to dethrone Galatasaray as well as Fenerbahce, even Besiktas. But these 7-time league winners will definitely be able to allow you to bring in some very talented players, produce some talented players, as well as they do have some pretty good training facilities. And they actually have some of the better junior coaching within the country of Turkey, because for whatever reason in FM, they just don't have good youth recruitment or junior coaching. But this will be one of those clubs that you'll actually be able to produce some pretty decent players here throughout your time at the club. And you'll have 2 pretty solid youngsters at your disposal right away. Serdar Saci as a center back, as well as Ali Şahin Yilmaz, another center back. So your back line, at least 2 of the players in your back line, are going to be sorted for the foreseeable future. So if you're looking for a fun short-term save to kind of just get Trabzonspor back to the top of Turkish football, or even a fun building a nation save with one of the bigger clubs within the nation, Trabzonspor is definitely a very fun option. Next up, we go to Scotland at Hearts of Midlothian in Edinburgh. Now, this club is a bigger club in my eyes within Scottish football. Their rivals Hibernian are also very, very good. They share the same city. However, Hibs are going up, Hearts are going down. Not necessarily out of the league, but those are the directions that they currently are taking. They're moving in totally opposite futures right now. And I think if you were to take over Hearts, you would actually be able to turn them into a beast in Scottish football. Now, taking on Celtic and Rangers is going to be very difficult. Also, overcoming Hibs, who are very good at producing youth talents, that's going to be kind of difficult as well. But thankfully, you have some good training and youth facilities. You have some good youth recruitment and junior coaching as well. So the odds are in your favor. You just have to find a way to dethrone Rangers as well as Celtic and push Hearts to unimaginable heights, and potentially even try and add some Cinch Premiership trophies as well as the Scottish Cup and Premier Sports Cup, but maybe try and push for some European silverware as well, which you will be in the Europa League in the first season. So if you can find a way to swing things early on in your favor, that's going to be pretty impressive. Next up, we are moving to Rotterdam in the Netherlands, and we're not going to Feyenoord, we're going to Sparta Rotterdam. Now, they are a very solid club, at least in my opinion. I absolutely love their stadium too, very, very unique. However, Sparta Rotterdam could definitely be a unit of a club if under the right leadership, I believe. They have won the top tier on 6 occasions, but they haven't done so since 1959. And before that, it was 1915. So they haven't really enjoyed a whole lot of success in a very, very long time. So you most definitely could be the one to bring major success to this club by becoming one of the bigger clubs within the Netherlands, trying to match what Ajax has done, which, keep in mind, they've won 4 Champions Leagues, so you'd have to go and win 5, but also becoming the biggest club in Rotterdam, because as you can see with the derbies right here, you've got 2 Rotterdam derbies, Feyenoord and Excelsior. You have some good youth recruitment, some good junior coaching, some decent enough facilities. So you have the building blocks to get yourself to a pretty solid level. You also have a very fun left back in the name of Mr. Patrick van Aanholt. Very fun player, very pacey player, but he is 32 years of age now. So you're only going to get at about a year or 2 of good football out of him before you got to move on. And another kind of in the same boat, Jonathan de Guzman. He is 35 years of age now, so you will most definitely be moving on from him probably at the end of the season. But this is a club that I definitely think could be a very fun option in trying to just build an absolute juggernaut of a dynasty over time. Next up, we've got FC Kaiserslautern in the Zwei Bundesliga, so Bundesliga 2. They are a very solid club, pretty well-known club as well, former club of Miroslav Klose, the legendary German striker. However, they play in almost a 50,000-seater stadium and are not in the top tier. This is a club that has won 4 Bundesliga titles, most recent in 1998. They've also won 2 DFB Pokal titles as well, most recent one in 96. However, speaking of the competition, they were in the final last year against Bayer Leverkusen. And I definitely think that this is a club that is closer to realizing its potential than a lot of other clubs around them. And in reality, they are pushing for promotion this year up to the Bundesliga. Very tight promotion race as well. So you at the helm, you can definitely get Kaiserslautern where they once were, which of course, Bundesliga and DFB Pokal champions, but push a step further and make them Champions League champions as well. And the best thing about the Bundesligas as a whole, the registration rules are pretty loose. Yes, you for sure have to have German players as they are a German club, but you can definitely push on to have just a multitude of different wonder kids at your club and make them very, very good for years to come. Next up, we're moving on to another club with Sparta in the name. However, this time it's in the Czech Republic. Sparta Prague. Very well-known club from the Czech Republic. 14-time winners of the league. Very recently as well. However, right now, Slavia Prague are miles ahead of them in reality. Miles ahead. So your job is to essentially make them the dominant force not only in Prague, but in the Czech Republic. But you could also treat this as kind of like with Trabzonspor, how I mentioned, one of the bigger clubs within a country and building a nation with them, because it's going to be super simple to kind of raise up all the other clubs around the league if you're at one of the top dogs. And with this club, you have amazing training facilities and youth facilities, same with youth recruitment and junior coaching. It is a very, very fun club to manage, very fun league to manage in as well. It's pretty competitive. And Tomas Rosicki and Pavel Nedved both came from this club. And you also have an absolutely fantastic wonder kid in Adam Karabek at your disposal early days. It's going to be a challenge to try and hang on to him, but if you can, you have a beast at your disposal. Next up, we are heading to the English leagues, but not to an English club. We're going to a Welsh club in the championship, and it's not Cardiff City. We're going to Swansea City, where the new co-owner and investor is Luka Modric. This club is definitely going to be going places if he is able to have any influence on, one, player mentality, but two, if we are able to kind of see an influx of Croatian youngsters come to this club simply because Luka Modric is now involved, it would be pretty cool to see, which that is kind of an idea that I have for this save with Swansea City. One, getting them out of the championship, back up to the Premier League, trying to win the Prem as a Welsh club, which that in and of itself would be absolutely incredible. But two, trying to do it with a lot of Croatian talent, a lot of Welsh talent. I think that would be a very fun thing to try and do, to where you have the influence of where the club is located, but also Luka Modric and his Croatian connections. This is a club that I definitely believe should be up in the Premier League. They are a very ambitious club, so why not try and help them reach and match those ambitions that they have? Next up, we have a pretty well-known club and a very historically successful club, Grasshopper Zurich in Switzerland, 27-time league champions. However, they have not won the league since 2003. And they just featured in my 37 save video as well, which I'll link at the end of this video for you guys to check out for more save ideas. But this is a club that definitely should be able to compete for league titles. They're a very successful club. They're in Zurich as well, playing at a massive stadium. They should definitely be able to bring through the talents, as you can see with their training facilities, youth facilities, recruitment, coaching, that allows them to have golden generation after golden generation, but they haven't been able to do that. So you're going to be the one to do that at the club. You can just make it to where it's a save where it's a return to glory type save, or even a build a nation. Once again, one of the bigger clubs, although they've kind of fallen off recently with the talent that they have, but one of the bigger name clubs trying to push everyone else and the nation up along with it. Would be a very fun building a nation save in Switzerland. They produce very solid talents, but overall this save is honestly kind of a must try, at least if you're just trying to make it to where they dominate once again and try and bring like some European silverware to the club, whether it's Conference League, Europa League, or even the Champions League. Very fun option for you. And now that leaves us with our last club. We started in Italy, we are ending in Italy. We are at Torino FC in Turin, which is the same city as Juventus. And these clubs, very different from each other. Unfortunately, it was due to a disaster, due to a plane crash that inevitably ended up having some massive impacts on the club. One, it ended the dynasty that Torino was, because in the 1940s, they were absolutely unbelievable. But since that tragic crash that killed essentially everyone except two members of the team, they haven't been the same. They've won the league once in 1976. They've won the Coppa Italia a couple times, most recently in 1993. But them and Juve are worlds apart. Juve is a dominant force in Italian football, and Torino, being in the same city, has had to watch that for decades now. So your job is to take Torino to the same heights, if not surpass those heights that Juve has set, which I definitely think you can do so. They also have a very nice stadium. I really like it. It reminds me of the Olimpico where Lazio and AS Roma play at. They have some very fun building blocks for you as well. One is Per Sure is at center back. Very good aerial option. Someone that can kind of play through that central spine of either a 10 central midfielder or even defensive midfielder in Ivan Illich. And someone else that is very central and very important to the future of this club, Samuele Ricci. He is going to be your key player for sure. So you go with Torino, return them to the heights that they were once at, and try your best to surpass Juventus. And definitely try and add some Champions League titles to that trophy cabinet. So there we have it for today's video. Hope you all did enjoy it. I'll be linking the updated database down below in the description for anyone that wishes to give it a go for yourselves. Updated transfers, a boatload of leagues as well at your disposal. But let me know down in the comments below also if you're going to be trying out any of these saves or what save you are currently doing in FM24. But if you did enjoy today's video, please feel free. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Subscribing is 100% free, so why not hit that sub button. Right now on screen will be popping up some of my more recent videos, including that one with the 37 saves ideas. So with that being said, and until next time, have a good one. Bye-bye.